And Jerry's Hustler, that's part of the crowd here in the huge Cow Palace in San Francisco, enjoying the action here between the Jolters and the Chiefs. And we have a tied-up game. We have it 13-13 as moving into the third period of play with the girls on the track. Gal Stevens is over there just a moment ago talking to Jan Bella, giving them some advice. People there waiting for the action to get underway, and the same thing happens to the girls as Chris Ortiz, one of the referees, and Bill Gross says, hey, what about it? Ortiz starts the action, and I think Cattell goes over to him now and says, who starts this game, you or Bill Gross? Anyway, here we go with the action now. First jam here in the third period of play in the first half. Some of these stations you'll see the last half immediately. Some you'll see it next week, but you'll get a chance to see this complete championship round game. Rose Duran on the jam, number 4 for the Jolters. Now with her in the play, Dolores Roberson, 48, and she puts Duran into the rail. A great play by this rookie. Rose Duran is a pretty tough gal out there on skates. So the only threat now is the chief skater, Dolores Roberson. All she needs is a blocker back there to help her. Pam Kaniva back there to block for the Jolters. Now Moreland is back there to help her teammate out. Carolyn Moreland trying to get a shot at Kaniva, talking to Roberson. Ballow's coming up and coming up fast for the Jolters on the play. Jan Ballow coming up. The Chiefs better make their bid and make it in a hurry. Right to the legs of Kaniva, Dolores Roberson. Then she cut off the jam before Ballow could get the lead. She goes outside, practically takes down the canvas we have around the base of the track, just over to the right of where she is as the skate hit it and ripped it. Spoiled the beauty of the track out there, but Roberson's all right, and that's the important thing. 14-13, that 1 point gives the Chiefs the lead here over the Jolters. When you're small, you take advantage of your lack of size out there, and that's what Roberson did that time.
She looks like she may be hurting well. She had a little trouble getting up. She's only 4'10", but really a very, very good skater.
Here we go. Looks like Barbara Baker coming out of that pack on the jam for the Jolters. Claudia Hobdy, number 49, in pursuit for the Chiefs. So once again, each team has a jammer out on the play. 14-13 is the score. Hobdy with the block grabs the lead on Barbara Baker, who's had a tremendous year for the Jolters. And there's Baker working on Hobdy, and she puts her down. I say this Baker has had a tremendous year, really coming into her own. Before she was known as the daughter of Annis Big Red Jensen. Now she's known as Barbara Baker. Moreland there to block, 43. Carolyn's block on Baker. They used to be teammates in the Chiefs at one time. And working on Moreland, Jan Ballow. She's down. Baker has 1. She gets more. 2 more, 3. 3 points in all. Just like that, when Jan Ballow leads the charge, things have to give. And the Jolters go back in front, 16-14 over the Chiefs.
Jolters is a very resilient club. They never really seem to fold. You know, there's certain teams you keep pressure on, and you just know that they're not going to come back. But this Jolter team is a very, very strong team, and more importantly for the Jolter fans, it's a very, very young team.
They certainly look like a team of the future because they've got a lot of talent out there on that club. And as you said, it's young. So you look for a series in the East. Look for your Chiefs against this Jolter club. I know you'll get some action. Here we go. Duran again on the jam. Pam Kniever with her. Number 6 for the Jolters. Chiefs are trying to shake out a couple of skaters. There's Debbie Thompson, bronchitis and all, out on the jam, number 44. The doctor said don't skate, but she said she had to skate this game. She missed the last one. She wanted to be in this championship round game. Debbie Thompson, 44, moving on Kaniva and Rose Duran. She's got company coming out in Carolyn Moreland. Thompson, deck. It's up to Moreland now. Judy McGuire and Claudia Hobby to block for the Chiefs. Moreland coming up fast, though. She's there. She grabs the lead. She cuts off the jam and kills the Jolter threat. And Ballow puts her on the rail, goes back, but thinks better of it. 16-14, the score remains. No score in that jam. It's the Jolters leading the Chiefs here in the third period of play in the first half. Backs being formed, the play will get underway again. As it's formed, the jammers start from the rear of the pack. They have the stripes in their helmets. Moreland there on the rail will rejoin the pack when it comes around. The jammers that stay in there, that don't go to the infield, allow that brief rest on the rail while the pack keeps moving. Then they rejoin it and the play goes again. Action all the time. Here we go. Judy McGuire's getting out of there. She gets a shove from Moreland, but in front of her is Barbara Baker. Blocked there by Judy. Baker cuts to the inside, puts a block on Judy. Judy stays up. Another block by Baker. Oh, beautiful move by Judy. But Baker gets back. And then again, these gals really skating out there. Beautiful action. Hey, that was it for Judy McGuire, and Baker hits the deck. So Judy McGuire skating by herself on the jam now for the Chiefs. So they're entirely on the offense. They don't have to worry about defense on this play, as the Jolters have nobody in scoring position. Jan Ballo back there to block again. Moreland trying to reach her teammate McGuire, but she cannot reach her. There's Baker with a block, and Baker was almost past. Ballo with a block in there on Judy McGuire. They're taking turns. Baker is shoving Moreland up ahead, so she cannot drop back there. And there's Baker with the block as the gal was set up by Ballo, but Ballo is getting a pointed finger from the referee. I don't know if she's holding or not. They're still pointing. What are they going to do about it? No points, so nothing was wrong. Just a long pointed finger by an official at Jan Ballo, who's helping Judy McGuire up now. Moreland comes back because she doesn't quite believe it. She wants to be there.
Say, if any of the fans would like to have a game scheduled in their area, and their city or area has an arena, gym, or a high school or a college that seats more than 2,500 people, and for non-commercial purposes, we've raised a lot of money for charities and booster clubs and such. Why not write to bookings, Post Office Box 1827, Oakland, California 94604. We'll send you information on how you can have a game scheduled in your city featuring one of these top teams you see every week on television.
Ballo in the infield. Shoves Bob Woodbury. And Moreland comes after Ballo with a helmet. And a knee in there by Ballo and Moreland, and a fist in there. This Ballo is tough. She was even taking on Woodbury out there. Woodbury is over there telling her off, I think, for what she had done to the Chief skaters on the track just a few seconds ago. Woodbury comes reeling out of there. 16-14 is the score. The Jolters lead, but they lose Jan Ballo. A 2-minute major penalty on her. That means they'll be without her for 1 jam, possibly 2 jams, depending on how fast they get them underway. Delay of game penalty on the Chiefs. They lose a skater. So they have to go with 4 skaters. The Jolters have 4, the Chiefs have 4. The Chiefs had the advantage there for just a moment, but they were called to delay a game and getting that jam underway. So on the jam, moving. Noreen Gallagher, 42, and chasing the Rose Duran for the Jolters. The Jolters lead here. They had the experienced jammer out on the play. They're moving in a pack. There's Baker with a block on Gallagher. Judy McGuire back there blocking for the Chiefs. Another block on Duran by Judy McGuire. This is a gal that can do it all on the bank track. Baker hits the infield. He's got skate trouble. Skate trouble by Baker, so I don't think they'll allow a point on the play. He's been replaced on the track. Judy McGuire still doing the job on Rose Duran. Gallagher spun into the rail. A block by Pam Kneva. Judy McGuire moving on Kneva now with a block, but couldn't get the shot at her. Time's running out. No score on the jam. Baker was passed, but she was going to the infield. Skate trouble, and you cannot pass a skater. Skate trouble for a point.
Of course, a lot of the Chief fans know that Barbara Baker skated with the Chiefs the past season, and she had an opportunity to skate right alongside Jan Ballo. As I say, a very young Jolter team. And you ask, why would a skater leave a team like the Chiefs, certainly world champions all these seasons? Well, it's not hard for Barbara Baker to see that there's Sandy Dunn and Carolyn Moreland and Judy McGuire, all with seniority on her, and this is a great opportunity for her, and I think she's going to develop well as a result of it, Walt.
She's certainly showing it, too. Here we go. It's Judy McGuire again for the Chiefs, who trail by 2. 16-14, the Jolters on top. 4 jammers are out. Gail Burnt moving behind Judy McGuire, and Carolyn Moreland is also out for the Chiefs. Ballo on the track there, on the rail, just coming out of the penalty box. Lead jammer now is Carolyn Moreland. She's way out in front of Judy McGuire, slowing down Gail Burnt of the Jolters. So the only threat is the Chief skater, Carolyn Moreland, and her first obstacle is Jan Ballo, fresh out of the penalty box. Ballo there in a face mask with a shoulder block. Another block in there by Ballo on Carolyn Moreland. Moreland, 43, still trying. Again, Ballo number 8 with that block. Teammate back there, Judy McGuire, now to help Carolyn Moreland out on the play. His time's running short on the jam, about 14 seconds, 13, 12, a whip around. She is by Ballo for a point. Then she's hit by Kneva, clobbered by Ballo. She almost got through. She throws off Ballo, throws off Kneva, and picks up a second point. Great individual effort by Carolyn Mullen on that play. And that ties up the score at 16-16 with a minute 10 to go here in the third period of play in the first half. Remember, I'll have an interview at the end of the half.
And I understand, Walters, you're going to be talking to the big man we were talking about before, Cal Stevens.
Be interesting to find out what he thinks of this Chief club. And the fact that Bob Woodbury is on it now. Don't forget, this is a championship round game. Some of you folks will see the last half immediately. Some will see it next week, but you'll get a chance to see this complete championship round game between the Chiefs and the Jolters. And 40 seconds to go here in the third period of play in the first half. Here we go, 30 seconds left. Well, the men scored in less time than this, but it was Mike Gammon, but it's his wife now, Judy McGuire, moving 45. Rose Duran behind her, 22 seconds. They could do it. They'll need a block, though. McGuire is still leading. Vallow back there. Carolyn Mullen there for the Chiefs. There, Judy McGuire, 14 seconds, 13. Vallow backfired a block, and McGuire picks up a point. Vallow takes out her teammate, and Sandy Dunn out there rubbing it in.
Well, they got their block, but unfortunately it was Jan Vallow on her own teammate.
Well, that can happen. They move so fast out there. One miscalculation, and that's the way it happens. And that's what happened to the Jolters on that play. That gave the Chiefs a chance to grab the lead here as we get ready to move into the fourth and final period of play in the first half, with the men taking over again. So a lot of action coming up here, and it should be a wild one right into the end of the first half in this championship round game. So the score here at the end of the third period of play in the first half is the Chiefs 17 and the Jolters 16.